I'd like to be rather brief today because I got my tooth extracted today itself. So I have some, like to speak for a smaller period of time than usually I do. Okay, but that should not be a problem. So the last topic, it's the last but one rather. So we'll soul-mind-body interaction model. I'm trying to make it full screen, but I don't know why this is not happening. Anyway.
You can go to slideshow.
No, I don't
slideshow on the above.
No, I understand there is no slideshow in my computer here because of this Zoom problem. But here.
Okay, so let it be so.
Yeah. Okay, it's full screen now.
Yes, now it is full screen.
Okay. This, in fact, this is what we have been trying to do, that understand the soul, the mind, and the body. And then, of course, we come to the last point where how these three units interact. This is the main thing we were trying to achieve, or try to aim at, right from the beginning. So, so we make a model of this whole system, and the components of the system are soul, the Karman body, Tejas body, mind, and the body itself. So these are the 5 components we are trying to interrelate or correlate. And I hope you have listened to the video. Am I right? Have you listened to
Yeah. The voice is clear.
No. They must have listened to the video lecture.
वीडियो नहीं आया था कचारा साहब
जी
कचारा साहब वीडियो पहले नहीं आया था ना
Okay, yeah, it is the reason that we open just one day before, so or just after the talk. So I will open after the talk, and then they could see.
Okay. Then I'll go through it. So, say how the interactions take place. I had just given an example, to understand what really happens. So the question is, when you are hungry, who feels hungry? The body or the soul? So body is a material entity and has no feeling. So obviously the soul feels hungry. What happens is that there is the asata vedaniya karma is on the rise. And therefore, the body feels it is weak, or it lacks energy, or it has a feeling of being hungry. So on the rise of this karma, the soul feels hungry and initiates action to mitigate the hunger. This action is successful when simultaneously there is a kshayof-sam of bhoga antaraya karma. That also is important. This must happen in order that the soul functions. And the rise of vedani karma, that is the asata vedani karma, and also nam karma, because the process is taking place in the body, cause movement in the body parts which are engaged in the act of eating. So the body then, takes actions to mitigate the hunger. The hunger feeling is in the soul, remember. So there is a message which is sent to brain through mind, and the brain regulates the eating process. So the message goes from soul to mind, and then to brain, and then the body acts, So the body then will search for the food, body will consume food, and when this happens, the soul receives the information that the body has received food and the feeling of hunger goes away, So this is a very simple picture of the whole process. So what we see here is that the soul feels hungry, the body consumes food, and the soul is satisfied. Look here, the connection between these two. Thus, the soul and body are interrelated, and their actions are mutually dependent. Now, with this small example to understand the interaction, we construct the model. So I said that there are 5 components. One is soul, and the soul will divide in 3 parts: the pure soul, the bhav karma, and the bhav mind. Okay, the latter 2 are impurities of the soul, that is the bhav man and bhav karma are the impurities of the soul. And the bhav karma again will divide in 2 parts: the biological bhav karma, that is agati bhav karma, and psychical bhav karma, that is gati bhav karma. Then we have a carbon body, and we'll divide that also in 2 parts: biological, that is the agati dravya karma, and psychical, that is gati dravya karma. Tejas body will be taken as 1 unit, and the gross body will divide in 2 parts in our model: 1 brain and the rest of the body. Mind is a very powerful unit, and we must understand that clearly. Of course, we did it in the last lecture. So the bhav mind, will divide bhav mind in 3 parts. And here many of the questions are being answered, which were raised in earlier classes. So the bhav mind is divided in 3 parts: conscious mind, subconscious mind, and unconscious mind. The conscious mind contains memories of this life, which we are conscious of. Subconscious mind contains memories of this life, which we are not immediately conscious of. An unconscious mind contains memories of past lives, which were in Sangi mode, remember, not in Asangi mode. And this above division holds good in the waking state, not in the dream state. So in the sleep or the dream state, conscious mind also acts as a subconscious mind. And therefore the memories of both the subconscious mind and unconscious mind are accessed in the dream state. That we had in the last lecture. The cognition activity of the soul is because of the kshayopsam of Jnanavarni karma and Darshanavani karma. And the other features like willing and feeling by bhav mind are due to working of Mohani karma. So Mohani karma has a role in this, willing and feeling. Then Dravya mind. The Dravya mind is the place where the mental activity takes place, and it acts in 2 ways. Forward mode, it receives information from soul and acts on the brain. And in the reverse mode, it receives information from the senses through brain and communicates to the soul. This is the function of Dravya mind. We must distinguish between the karma process and mental process. The karma process, the activities are always associated with some kind of patience, and the soul binds karma. We all know that. And in the later case, that is in the mental activities, the activities may be associated or may not be associated with patience. For instance, when you are reading a book, then patience may or may not arise. When you are reading any book, Sometimes patients are there, some they are not there. When no patient arises, the act is not recorded as karma, because the karma, the main ingredient or the binding force is patience, as far as the binding of karma is concerned. So no patience means no bonding of karma. But the memory is still recorded in the Bha mind. You see? So all actions or memories of all actions, whether accompanied by patience or whether not accompanied by patience, is recorded in Bha mind, man. Our man knows everything. It is a record. In the forward mode, drive mind receives the following information from the soul. Working conscious memory from Bha mind, it receives this. It assumes that drive mind does not store memory. It is a working place. Okay, there is no memory in the drive mind. The memory is in the Bha mind. The working psychical karma, which may be due to some or rise of karma. So this information also goes to Dravya mind. And the working of Antaraya karma influences the activities of the body, speech, and mind. And now I have given here a small picture. On the left-hand side, the Bha mind divided in three parts. The conscious mind, subconscious mind, and unconscious mind. As I told you, how they are there in the conscious, in the Bha mind. Then on the right-hand side, you'll see Dravya mind, and immediately left to that, we have on the top conscious memory CM. So the conscious memory is directly connected to Dravya mind always. Then it is connected to karma, Jnanavani, Darshanavani, Mohina, Antaraya. These karmas are basically responsible for the existence of mind, remember. So they are connected with the mind. Now, what are the forces which are acting in the body? Okay, one is prana, and there are 10 prana. So the 5 sense or Indriya prana and Mana prana are due to Kshaya of Mati Gyan of scoring karma and Antaraya karma. So the pranas, these are the 5 pranas. Then there are 3 pranas, Swachosat, Sarir, and Vachanbal prana. They are due to rise of Nam karma, as we know. And Ayus prana, which is due to rise of Ayus karma. So we have got these 10 pranas interacting with the body. Then Leshya. There are 6 Leshyas. 5 of them are due to Kachhara, and 1 is due to Nam. Shukla Leshya is due to Nam karma. And then, of course, we know biophotons, and these are also produced because of the rise of Nam karma. So with this, we construct a model. You see the model here. Soul, this is the white one is the pure part of the soul, and the impurities in the form of Bhaman, Bha mind, and these karmas, the first one is the Ghati karma, and this is Agati karma in this soul. And this is carbon body, sorry. Carbon body again consists of 2 parts, Ghati and Agati. This is Tejas body. This is Dravya mind. This is our gross body, and this is brain. Now you'll see that, these karmas are producing prana. So there are, the green line, you see there are 6 pranas, Indriya and Man, they are, sorry, the yellow line, They are the blue one, sorry. The blue line represents prana, 6 of them acting with the brain. They are interacting with the brain. And 4 prana coming from agati karma interact with the tejas body, and these 4 pranas are acting with the body directly. Then we have biophotons produced, and they also interact with the body cells. Then we have a leshya, which is a green in the yellow one line, you see here. 6 leshyas that are interacting with the endocrine glands here. Then we have a drum mind here. This needs little understanding. The bhav mind and the dravya mind. Somebody asked this question last time also. They are interconnected through some kind of exchange. Here, the exchange of information between Bhaman and Dravyaman. This is they are connected. The Dravyaman, is physical, and this is non-physical part of brain. And Dravya mind is coupled to brain. Okay, so this is a coupled system. So the coupled system, in this system, there are 2 parts: Dravya mind, physical, and the brain. They interact, continuously. And how the interaction take place is not very clear, but they interact, most probably some kind of electromagnetic interaction. So I have represented this here in the diagram. The other things you will consider, there is a 2-way communication between brain and senses, between mind and Dravya mind, between mind and senses through brain. So the brain is an interface that way. And how the leshyas are produced, and they interact with the endocrine glands, as I said here. There are 2 very special features of this model which I have given you. Number 1, there are 2 interfaces between carbon body and gross body. One through, there are 2 interfaces between soul and body. One through carbon body, another through Dravya mind. Okay, so though most functions of the Dravya mind are influenced by karma, it can independently exchange information with the bhav mind, as I told you. And this feature enables the bhav mind to store memories of all activities. So bhav mind has all memories of all our activities. And the leshya is interacting with the endocrine glands, but it acts independent of mind. So our bhav will interact with our body through leshya, independent of mind. How exactly these interactions take place is not very clear, but remember that soul pradesas and the carbon body extend at every point of the gross body, and so do the pranas, leshyas, and Dravya mind. So these 3 entities, prana, leshya, and Dravya mind, also are present at every point of the gross body, just like soul. So I represented this by a diagram here. If you consider a cell in the gross body, then this cell will have K karma, P prana, L leshya, M mind. So all these things are also present at every cell of the body, remember. Okay. So in the case of prana, The Ayus prana and the Sharir prana interact with all body cells, producing cell bioelectricity and muscle bioelectricity, as I told you in the prana lecture. The Swachoswach prana interacts with the heart cells, producing heart electricity. And the Vachanbal prana interacts with a particular brain cell. Then Indriya prana will act in the brain and produce brain electricity. Manabal prana provides coupling between Dravya mind and brain. And Leshyas, although they are present all over the body, but they interact only with the endocrine glands in the brain. You know, the action is selective. The mind DM field is also present all over the body. Dravya mind is also present all over the body, but interacts selectively only with the neuron cells in the brain and other cells of the nervous system. So just like the information in the Karman body, the information in the Dravya mind must also be known local. So all karmas, 148, but this 148, you know, only we bind only 122, remember, out of 148. Only we bind only 122, and then they are subdivided to give us this figure 148. So all karmas extend, you know, over the entire body part, but they act selectively, just like cells, you know, the DNA. DNA also acts selectively in various cells, you know, the same thing. So this is the briefly I have given you the how the interaction takes place. In the last slide, what I have said here is that genetics is a property of matter only is incomplete. You see the diagram here. The science will say that the genetic science is really is caused by matter only. This is scientific view, but the Chinese view is that the genes work because of both the matter of which they are made of and karmic forces. So the karmic forces are also acting on the genes. So these two together, in fact, is giving us the total genetic science. You know, the genetic science, which the scientists say we can understand by considering matter only, is a fallacy. Because there are many questions which can be raised and cannot be answered by matter processes and has to take help of karmic forces. This is what the Jain philosophy says. And I hope some of you will take this issue further and emphasize this part. So I stop here. This is my first lecture.
So the talk is finished today.
Let me take this lecture. Briefly, I'll go through it. Here, you know, we are considering a very important subject of evolution of life on Earth. And this is a subject which has not been well understood even by science. You know, nobody actually knows in scientific circle, how did life evolve on Earth? It's a very debatable topic, and we are discussing this topic today from the Jain philosophical point of view as well as scientific point of view. And let us see to what extent Jain philosophy provides the answer. First, I'm trying to make it full screen. I don't know why. Some problem. I'll continue with this.
Yeah, you can,
Yes.
because already it is recorded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Probably so many clicks on the screen, and therefore it is causing problem. Yeah, okay. It's okay now. No, it is this same topic. No, sorry.
It is new topic.
Just a minute. I don't know why this is not happening. Let me share once again. Okay. Don't worry about this sound, this will go away.